Hello, viewers. Welcome to our Wapadela live show for today. Always brought to you by Timvelen Multipurpose Zambia in conjunction with Litovia TV. Thank you so much, viewers. Presenter for today, Brand KACHIZA, being assisted by the sign language interpreters, Blessing and today, viewers, we have an interesting topic, a topic that focuses on breaking and continue promoting inclusivity. So this week, our topic will help us in terms of accessibilities and help people and organizations genuine commitment to inclusivity from strategic planning to practical implementation and ongoing accountability. Yeah, so now I would like to welcome our guest for today, Madam Maggie Kaunda.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
Just give us a brief introduction again. We did that last time, but again today.
Sure. So my name is Maggie Kaunda, and I am the founder and executive director of an institution called Unique Abilities Initiative. In the Unique Abilities Initiative, what we seek to do is to create an environment where youth are empowered and they're given the skills, especially soft skills, to have confidence to approach potential employers and seek employment, but also that when they're in that employment, they can stay in the employment and are at par to participate in the work environment as well as their other counterparts in the work environment. Additionally, on the side of the employer, it is to make them aware that it is important for policies in the workplace to be inclusive of persons with disabilities. We focus a lot on the youth because we know that there is a big gap in Zambia in as far as youth unemployment. So we seek to bridge that gap with a bias towards youth with disabilities.
Well, that's so interesting, and thank you so much. So again, I would like to give you another welcome to this program and another important discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're so delighted, viewers, to continue with our topic for today. So this week, yeah, and as we discuss lists of items. So all of you viewers, you are most welcome and free to give your participation and on this topic for today. Yeah. So, Madam Maggie, what is your organization's formal definition of inclusivity, and how does it align with your mission?
So when we talk about inclusivity at UAI, which is short for Unique Abilities Initiative, we're looking at a person's dignity and ability. We're not looking at inability or the limitations that one might think a person has. We look at what is the capacity that this person has and how are they able to contribute. It aligns with our mission because we say in our mission that we seek to give equal opportunity to everyone. Whether or not you have a disability, you should be given equal opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, that's interesting. And how does leadership demonstrate a commitment to inclusivity in decision-making process?
Okay, so at Unique Abilities, what we do is that when we are making decisions, in as far as programs, for example, or issues that we want to discuss with the employers around the policy issues and whether they are inclusive in their policies, the training programs that we have, even the curriculum that we create, we ensure that persons with disabilities are part of the creation of those programs because they're the ones who know what is required, but also in the decision making in the organization and in our programs, and other activities as well. We are very inclusive in the way that we come up with whatever programs we seek to have in the institution. Even when we do engage with employers, we carry along the persons who are mostly affected by this issue, and they are part of the discussions, the decision making, the awareness programs. We are very inclusive in that regard.
Wow, thank you so much, and awesome on that. Yeah, and would like to know what is the organization's inclusivity vision statement, and how is it communicated to staff?
So our vision statement really is equal opportunity and ensuring that everybody is perceived as a person who can contribute to the organization's intentions, which is to ensure that there is inclusivity in what we do. And so specifically what our organization does is that as we go on motivating the fact that it is important for employers to be inclusive, it starts with us. So our organization seeks to ensure that, first of all, on our board of trustees, that there are people with disabilities. In our curriculum and programs, like I said, we ensure that it is structured with an inclusive approach, and we do not guess work through what we do as an organization. We literally ask the questions, we motivate the questions, and we ensure that as we are creating the programs, as mentioned earlier, that persons with disabilities are a big part of that process. But also, apart from the process of motivating, even the implementation process, we ensure that the persons with disabilities are involved.
Wow, wonderful, Madam Maggie. Yeah, and what specific policies or procedures does the organization have to ensure inclusive practices?
Okay, so our focus is really on fairness, our focus is on accessibility, our focus is on dignity. So as we are formulating our policies, and obviously inclusivity as well, as we are formulating our policies, we ensure that there is dignity that is assured to the person that the policy seeks to address, and also there is fairness. For example, if we are recruiting or if we are going to undertake a training, how do we ensure that the people who are coming, there is a good balance? There is male, there is female, there is persons with disabilities, or there is not. We look at the spectrum very critically so that we ensure that there is proper inclusion, because we want to ensure that the platform and the platform is fair and it is well balanced.
Thank you so much. People out there, well, please feel free to bring in your comments on our today's topic. Yeah, thank you so much. And today we have a wonderful day, as you may feel. So feel free, you can call us or send SMS on the number showing on the screen. Yeah. So we'll continue, Madam Maggie. We want to know, like, how do you ensure inclusive hiring, promotion, and the retention practices across all levels?
Yeah, so like I've said earlier, for us, the issue is ability. Does a person have a skill? If they have the skill, do they have the ability to deliver on that skill? And when we are looking at the recruitment process, for example, we are not looking at incapacity. We do not believe that people, we believe, let me just say that everybody has an incapacity. But when we are seeking to include someone on the team, what you look at is the capacity. How have they been trained? Are they able to articulate themselves well? if they are able to articulate themselves well, do they present themselves in a way that they're able then to join the team? And when we do that, then we know that we are ensuring a certain fairness. What we know that is that society perceives persons with disabilities differently, so we pay particular attention to see that we are not looking at persons with disability differently, but we are looking at the capacity that they have. So if a person with disability has a certain skill and they come for an interview against a person who doesn't have a physical disability, for example, what we are saying is, what exactly are we looking at? Are we looking at the fact that they are coming with their training and perhaps an experience, and that they have a certain personality to carry the job? We are not going to look at the fact that maybe they are in a wheelchair, or they are hard of hearing, or maybe they cannot, they have limitations in their vision. For us, that is not an issue. We look at the real issues, which is, what kind of ability does this person have? We believe everybody does have a unique ability, and once we harness that, we are really going to ensure that the fairness that we are talking about is not just a discussion on paper, but it's something that we are seeing in real terms.
Thank you so much, Madam Maggie. And what accommodations and accessibility measures do you provide for employees and stakeholders?
Okay, we are very aware that the way our society is, a lot of times there are a lot of limitations. So for us, we are deliberate. When we are doing our training programs, for example, we'll ensure that there is a good mix of persons with disabilities. So if we need an interpreter in that space, we will have an interpreter. When we are organizing our events, we'll ensure that there is accessibility in terms of a ramp, for example, an elevator where required. If we are using television, for example, or screens to screen our presentation, we'll ensure that there are captions. But also when we are setting up our trainings and interactions, we'll ensure that the sitting arrangement accommodates the different persons with disabilities, because obviously if we have an interpreter in a space and a person who's hard of hearing, it means that that person should sit closer to the interpreter so that they are able to see. If a person is visually impaired, maybe partially, they should sit closer to the screen, and also the projection should be wider and bigger so that they're able to see. And also the captions on the screen should be clear. So what we do is that sometimes they may seem a little small, but they're very critical in ensuring that persons with disabilities they feel and they are included even in our day-to-day activities as an organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Maggie. And I thought of asking you this question. We're talking about inclusivity. So how best can you work with us here as Wapadela and Tivelen to promote your inclusivity programs?
Okay, so I love what Wapadela is doing in as far as awareness and also inclusion. And that is what we are about. As an institution, we're about awareness. We're saying, do we have people who have skills that are maybe hard of hearing? What are some of the activities that they can be involved in order to show the world and showcase not just the community or the country, but the whole world, that Zambia has got a group of people who have a special and unique ability within them, that they are hard of hearing, yes, but they are people who have something to bring to the table. So what we as Unique Abilities would do with an institution like yours is to ensure that as we do our programs, we carry one another along, because we believe that you also have something to give to us. As we are going to create awareness programs and to showcase what is important out there, we need a voice like the Wapadela team to come and show employers, for example, that persons who are hard of hearing also have certain capacities. Maybe they are seen first as having a disability before they are seen as having a skill, but trying to turn that narrative around and beginning to have people see the skill and see the capacities and the abilities before they begin to see what they perceive as incapacities. So it's really working together in bringing forth a message that really we can have persons living with disabilities also bring to the table a lot of amazing talent, a lot of amazing skill, and a lot of amazing strengths as well.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so interesting. And what steps do you take to address the microaggressions and the bias in the workplaces?
Okay, what is true is that those aggressions are there. Sometimes we try to pretend that they're not there, but you can see from person's reaction sometimes when a person with a disability walks in. I mean, even for myself, I have to consciously always remember that, you know, there are certain things that I need to not do in order to seem as a person who is carrying these aggressions. So what we do first and foremost is we do not seek to shame the people who do not know that they are discriminating or that they are being aggressive. What we seek to create is an environment of awareness and tell people, look, these are the ways that we can deal with such environments. These are the ways that we can be more accommodating. When we create the awareness and the education, then we see that people become more welcoming and they begin to realize that a person with a disability is a person just like me, and in certain instances is even better than me because they have certain capacities that I might not have, and I also have my own disabilities that persons might not see on the outside, but they are actually there. So in short, we are saying that as we try to address these microaggressions, as you call them, our approach is not to shame and to tell people, look, you are doing something wrong. What we are trying to say is, look, there is a better way to do these things. There is a better way to be more accommodating and more inclusive. And we were doing things a certain way, but now we can change our approach and begin to accommodate everyone. And our belief is that the capacity that we all hold, if harnessed and put together, we're going to achieve much greater results than when we are actually being discriminatory or aggressive in our environments. So that's the approach that we try to seek and apply.
Thank you so much, Madam Maggie. Okay, so we have a question for you from the viewers here in the studio.
Great. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Madam Maggie, how can your activities motivate communities to value inclusivity?
Could you please repeat the question?
Okay, how can your activities motivate communities to value inclusivity?
Okay, so actually we work very closely with communities because remember that the youth that we are talking about are coming from communities. So when we are speaking with the youth, our intention is to educate them and give them confidence at a level where they're able to pass on that information to their families. But also in the future, the intention is to have programs that will go into the communities and begin to assure the communities that what we are doing, if we work together with them as a community, we're going to reach much greater lengths. We do realize that in some communities, the discrimination and the aggressions are quite high. So the intention is that when we are creating awareness, they are not created in silos, but they are created on a community-wide basis to the extent that parents of the persons with disabilities are informed of what we are doing and they begin to appreciate that if we continue with this program, in the future we know it will start to grow. The intentions that we have are that even though we are dealing one youth at a time, before we know it, it will extend to the community, it will extend to the province, and then to the country of Zambia as a whole. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we'll continue with the discussion on how do you create a psychological safety for diverse voices to be heard?
Well, I think that you can never overemphasize the need for making people know and feel that they are included in the discussion. So we do not sit in one corner and make decisions for the persons that are living with, have the disabilities. What we do is that we include them. Their voices must be heard. Their decisions must be included in whatever we are doing. The discussions must be interactive, and it must be at that level where we are not talking at the persons with disabilities, but we're sitting around the same table, discussing issues and listening and implementing. If a person comes and says, what you are proposing is not going to work, we must be able to, at that level, find out and hear from them and research into why it will not work. And then if we are convinced that it will not work, sit down and motivate solutions together with everyone, so that at the end of the day, no one person feels that they were excluded in a discussion, they were excluded in the decision making, or even in the implementation of a decision. What we want is inclusivity all the way from start to finish. And that way we know that all voices are heard. And in our programs, we are not biased to say, when we're talking about persons with disabilities, that we're looking at physical disabilities, or we are looking only at people, persons with albinism, for example, or people who are hard of hearing. All of our interactions are inclusive of various persons with disabilities, meaning that the voices that are being heard are not just focused on one particular area. But if you are a youth, and you're a youth that has a disability, we are willing to listen and to sit with you, to discuss issues with you, to hear your voice, and then broadcast your voice to the outside world as much as we can. Because we know that you're the ones who know what issues you face, and therefore we cannot bring up solutions in the absence of hearing your voice. So inclusivity for us is the start and finish of our work.
Wow, thank you so much, Madam Maggie, for that. And now we go for a short break. Soon, we'll be coming back with more interesting discussion on this topic. Stay tuned and stay watching.
MWANZA Christian Academy is a girls-only boarding school located near Sandy Beach, Siavonga. MWANZA Christian Academy is now enrolling for Form 1 and Grade 10 pupils. So all girls who have just completed their Grade 7 and Grade 9 exams must take this opportunity to receive high-performance Christian-based holistic education. Help your girl child reach their full potential. Call 0976 386184. When you think girl child education, think MWANZA Christian Academy. MWANZA Christian Academy, excellence through Christian education. Scan the QR code to apply. MWANZA Christian Academy is a girls-only boarding school located near Sandy Beach in Siavonga. MWANZA Christian Academy is now enrolling for Form 1 and Grade 10 pupils. So all girls who have just completed their Grade 7 and Grade 9 exams
Okay, thank you so much and welcome back as we continue with the topic. Madam Mag, we've talked about the inclusivity and also the bias issue. And what inclusive leadership and bias training programs do you offer to your staffs?
Okay, so we have awareness, we have life skills, also workplace readiness. So we are big on training on the softer part of skills. We know that the identity crisis is a big one. And all of us in our lives, we face some form of identity crisis. Sometimes it comes up as positive, other times it comes out as negative. And we are aware that persons with disabilities are also prone to having an identity crisis. So what we seek to do really is to train persons in skills that give them confidence in their abilities, that make them appreciate that they do have an identity in and of themselves, apart from the disability that they might have. And then also we prepare them to say, when you go into a workplace, what kind of workplace readiness do you have? And how do we ensure that you are ready to face the issues? For example, like the aggressions that you might face, the discrimination that you might face, what are some of those things that you must be prepared for? So that's the kind of training that we will conduct for the persons that we work with.
Wow, thank you so much, Madam Mike. Yeah, we have a message from one of our viewers has sent the message. So the message is saying, hi, greetings to you.
Hello.
I'm enjoying the chat. The madam is explaining very well.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, our viewers, also for that, and we appreciate. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So we continue with our program. Yeah. So, Madam Mike, you talked about the trainings that you offer. Now, how do you measure the effectiveness of your inclusivity training initiatives?
So we look at how, after the training, how is the person who was trained participating? What are their confidence levels? And also when you look at the outcomes in the employment setup, do we have positive outcomes? Are the employers able to say that this person is contributing effectively to the teamwork, to the organization? So obviously, as we said, we are trying to see if a person can have the soft skills where they are confident, they are assertive in the work that they do. So at the end of the day, we are able to see, have their confidence levels improved. If previously they were sitting back and not contributing to discussions and decision making and implementation, are they now able to participate? And also, what is the employer saying? Are they able to, the employer able to tell us that actually the person that you've given us is really contributing? So those are some of the parameters that we use to measure how the impact of our training.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And by the way, we missed the name for the guest, the viewer who sent. So the name of the viewer who sent the message is Yvonne Siwawa. Yeah, so she's enjoying the show.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So, Mike, what professional development opportunities are available for employees to enhance inclusivity skills?
Okay, so we know that all of us need a mentor. So what we tend to do is that we pair the youth with a mentor, but also we look at issues of job shadowing. Are we able to pair the youth with a person who they can shadow? Because in the job, we trust that a lot of people need someone to hold their hand to take them through the work. So in as much as we build their skills, when they go into the workplace, is there someone that they can look up to that can help walk them through what they are expected to do in the workplace? So some of the aspects that we do are internships, job shadowing, and mentorship as well.
Oh. That's so nice, and thank you so much. And Madam Maggie, what partnerships do you have as the UAI to support inclusivity in your broader community?
Okay, so as earlier asked from the audience about what community engagements we do, I think this is a similar question. We really work with schools, we work with NGOs, we work with households as well, and we try as much as possible to see what kind of environments in the community are accepting of what we are doing, and how can we ensure that the impact is beyond further parameters than we would seek. So using the community such as schools as well as NGOs that are doing similar work, or NGOs that are not doing similar work but have the capacity to push our agenda forward, we engage with them and we try as much as possible to work with such institutions to help us bring forth what we intend to implement.
Okay, thank you so much. We also want to know, like, since you do all those community engagements, and how do you track and report on your inclusivity progress and outcome? Okay,
so what we do is that obviously in our inclusivity programs, we are always reporting. We prepare reports which we ensure that we look at, and we have a strategic plan, and the strategic plan is what sets out what are some of the tools that we need to use in our reporting mechanisms. We ensure that we are held accountable by the different organizations, for example, that we work with and partner with, and also obviously in our day-to-day work, when we have the trainings, when we have the employment engagements, at the end of those trainings and employment engagements, we have assessments where we actually track what kind of impact, like I said earlier, what kind of impact has this training made, so that ultimately we are able to have a record and use that record to build on going forward.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And as we come to the end of the program on this topic for today, Madam Maggie would want to know what consequences or accountability measures exist for inclusivity violations or failures.
Well, at this point, it's very difficult to say the consequences are punitive. They are not punitive at this point. But really, we remain accountable to our sponsors, we remain accountable to our donors and well-wishers, to the point that we try as much as possible to ensure that where we are working with an environment that is not, has committed first and foremost to ensuring that they're inclusive and they're not, we're able to use policies and laws to remind them that in fact, you did make a commitment. And that's why the reporting system is important, because when we have had an interaction, for example, with an employer, and they have assured us that they will ensure that in their recruitment process, for example, they include youth with disabilities, and then we find that they have not done that over a period of time, despite making a commitment, what we do is that we seek an audience with them again and try as much as possible to remind them to put this in their deliverables, in their strategic objectives, for example, because remember, what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So if we know that they are actually inclusive in their strategy of these initiatives to be inclusive of youth with disabilities, we know that when they are tracking it in their strategic plan, for example, they will be able to implement it. So the issue is to keep reminding them, to keep speaking with them, to keep engaging and building awareness until finally it sinks in that this is something that we need to do not as a favor, but it is our duty to ensure that we are inclusive.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you, Madam Maggie, for your time and participation on this show. It's so interesting. And viewers out there, we want to appreciate you for your time and participation again. We really appreciate. For now, we are going for a short break and we'll be back with some review and wrap up on our topic of discussion for today.
Your future can't wait. Why delay your dreams when you can fast track your success at Curso University? March 10, 2025. Mark your calendar. Enroll in the following faculties: Faculty of Nursing, Faculty of Health Sciences, Faculty of Humanities, Business and Education, Department of Postgraduate Studies. For a limited time, get a 20% off discount on your first semester, making education more affordable. Plus, we offer a very flexible payment plan, 50% upfront to start, the rest to be paid in manageable monthly installments. Study full-time, distance, and online, making it perfect for in-service workers and international students too. Don't miss out. Call us now and secure your place. Curso University, meeting the educational needs of today.
MWANZA Christian Academy is a girls-only boarding school located near Sandy Beach in Siavonga. MWANZA Christian Academy is now enrolling for Form 1 and Grade 10 pupils. So all girls who have just completed their Grade 7 and Grade 9 exams must take this opportunity to receive high-performance Christian-based holistic education. Help your girl child reach their full potential. Call 0976 386184. When you think girl child education, think MWANZA Christian Academy. MWANZA Christian Academy, excellence through Christian education.
At Manzi Valley, we pride ourselves in giving you the cleanest and safest mineral water on the Zambian market. Our mineral water is produced in the cleanest and most hygienic, germ-free environment in Zambia, and that's just a fact. We at Natural Valley take pride in the quality of our product so that you can safely enjoy our mineral water, rich in minerals, to satisfy that thirst and revitalize your body. So grab a bottle of Manzi Valley mineral water now to beat that thirst with the cleanest bottled water in Zambia.
Viewers, this is so interesting and we're so happy that you've been with us and you've stayed with us on this Beyond Awareness, Breaking the Barriers. This has been so interesting topic and discussion. KACHIZA and Madam Maggie Kaunda on this topic of breaking the barriers. I am Blessing Sokauta. We want to give just a summary and a wrap-up of this today's interesting topic. Actually helped access people and organization needs pure intentions on and genuine commitment to inclusivity, from strategic planning to practical implementation and ongoing accountability. And what are some of the things that has been talked about which will promote and encourage genuine inclusivity? Well, viewers, we talked about the strategic framework and commitment, and which we were able to see that everything should start from the leadership. And once there is proper leadership, then whatever that follows, it will all be moving smoothly, and try to make sure that each and every organization, they have formal definition of inclusivity and how it can align with its mission. And this is so interesting that we're able to see from how Madam Maggie had to elaborate the organization mission and also their strategic planning. And this is what we want. It's not just about inclusivity. What do we talk about? We talk about equal quality inclusion. And I'm so glad that she did not just talk about persons with disabilities or talking about the deaf or physically disabled or with albinism, but taking the inclusivity in general, and even people with who are aged and anyone who cannot really stand on their own, make sure that they also have their opportunity to discuss. So as Timvelen Multipurpose Zambia, which has brought this TV show, Wapadela, viewers, note that it discusses numerous issues that affect persons with disabilities, and you can still find us on YouTube, Facebook, and also on other platforms like this one you're watching us, or you better still call us on the number on the screen, which is 0974 758855. 0974 758855. That's an interesting, the available number you can use for more information or for some contribution. And if you feel like you have a lot to discuss and you still want to sponsor this TV show, since it's available for sponsorship, the number which I've just said, which is down there, is the number you can reach to call us and bring some discussion and agreement to see how best we can work together. Another area of helping us to find genuine commitment to inclusivity is policies and practices. Yeah, so there should be some specific policies and procedures which organizations should have to make sure that the inclusion has been practiced in each organization. Because each and everyone, like you see, the title for this show, Wapadela, that's the local name, which simply means special. Persons with disabilities too are special, and they can be given an opportunity to do the work according to their qualification, not with their disabilities. So once persons with disabilities have been accommodated, how are they going to feel so comfortable? Then inclusivity should be promoted, and the practices. We don't want where somebody has employed a person with albinism, then people be busy spitting on the shades. Dangwaleza. No, Stephen Navaso. This is about promoting pure and genuine inclusion, so to say. Yeah, and this is also true when it comes to hiring people, an interpreter or someone or personal assistant, so to say. Remember that persons with disabilities, yes, at times many would need a sign language interpreter. And for the deaf, as we're using the ears, them they use their eyes. And if they miss the eyes, how they're going to get it? That's why we need sign language interpreter, and make sure that sign language interpreters are valued for and also motivated. If you do that, meaning you are promoting a genuine inclusion and you have that real idea, and also promoting and supporting our aim of not leaving anyone behind, just like you would want not to miss out on the information. And the viewers, another area of discussion on genuine inclusivity is about culture and the environmental measures. Yeah, so I talked about some organizations. There are some myths and misconceptions that we have regarding persons with disabilities. People, when they think of this one has got a disability, it's either the blame will be shifted to the mother or some ritual witchcraft. Village people. We don't want to keep on blaming our village people. But these are some of the things that can happen. I'm just okay like this. Tomorrow I wake up, I'm sick, I become deaf, I lose my hearing, my hearing. So we don't want. Now, if that was to happen to you, how would you feel when you are here discriminating or looking down on persons with disabilities? Imagine the qualification that you have, and then that happens to you. Then someone tells you, you cannot perform this work or this position because you've acquired this. So if we embrace the cultural and environmental measures on how we can accommodate persons with disabilities and breaking the barrier of discrimination, we are going to build a better society and conducive environment where everyone's matter and everyone's idea will be fostered and demonstrated. What you want is each and every individual should be given the portfolio to showcase their world. And if you just keep on saying, that one, Nichiwulu, this one, Dangwaleza, we don't need that. we are not going anywhere. And that's why we need to give them an opportunity. So now, what else do we need? We need to create psychological and self-diverse voices for them all to be heard. Yeah, and you know, psychologically, that is so hectic. Here is a person who is struggling to move to access a building or to access some services. And then imagine after struggling, stressing, going there, finding people who are discriminating the person. Oof. I'm just trying to imagine if it was me, how it could be. I don't know how I can bear that one. Well, that's why we have Wapadela, which talks and breaking the barriers on those issues. We don't need to hear this is going down and promoting the other categories of people. We are one nation. So we need all to be moving on the same pace and all to be moving with one smile. And that is our goal. So viewers, it's so interesting that you have been coming in and bringing your questions, topics. Note that we are here to stay as we break these barriers. We are addressing the undressed issues of inclusivity and equal quality inclusion. That's why we are here. What else are we looking at on ensuring and measuring genuine inclusivity, training and development? This is one of the topics also which has been talked of by Brian, KACHIZA, and the guest, Madam Maggie. Yeah, we don't need some bias, you know, to avoid the trainings, because this one doesn't have a disability, this one has. So this one is a disability, cannot be given such opportunity or such kind of a training. No, we don't need that. Give them proper requirement. If they fail, they fail. That's their own. If a person without disability can fail, why would you say that persons with disabilities can fail to execute some duties? Give them and see if they can fail to do that. And then we also talked about having some opportunities which can be available for all employees to enhance inclusivity skills. So professionalism is needed, and that is required in each environment, be it at school, workplaces, and all our communities. And talking about community and stakeholder engagement, that is also another way in which we can find and promote genuine inclusion. And viewers, organizations, community members, and everyone, we need to engage with these diverse community and stakeholders. Imagine you don't know if there was no person with disabilities, how can we know how to make a scratch? How can we know how to make the wheelchair? So have you seen that there is something important of us working together with persons with disabilities, because they are going to give us more ideas and innovations. That's why we need to shift our thinking, not just about persons with disabilities, but people of innovation. And that's why we tell you, Wapadela talks about that. And not just about that, we talk about mental health, sexual and reproductive health rights, menstrual hygiene, we talk about health, education, so many more that we talk about on this show to make sure that each and every information has been reached to every people, to each and every citizen, and then they have also equal participation on it. And also we need to create some partnership to support inclusivity in broader community. We cannot just work it on our own. And that's why as Wapadela, we are encouraging you all viewers to bring in your participation. And viewers, we appreciate your comments and your partnership. You can reach us on this same number on the screen. You want to partner with us, you want to make this so interesting and see and how best we can reach and move together and elevate these issues of inclusivity. We are here and we're so available to receive and support that will come to make sure that we enjoy and we have a better Zambia that encourages and promotes inclusivity. It has been so interesting, viewers, to note that we have you watching this show, and we know that you are not just going to sit there but you will have an idea of sharing this message, spreading it to others, and build on this topic. This is so interesting. Not that we have this topic every Fridays to discuss about these issues and different issues. And therefore, you can be watching us live on Litovia on TOPSA channel 96 or YouTube. Just search Wapadela. You are going to find us. Wapadela. Yamene Wapadela. Yakumawa. I don't know. Yeah, but what I know is that Wapadela. Yeah. So viewers, it's so interesting, and we're so glad. I've been blessing Sokauta to stand on behalf of all the entire and the brand KACHIZA, and also the sign language interpreter Fendain Jerin. We say bye-bye. See you again next week, the same day, Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye, viewers.
You a parent looking for a school with values-driven ethos and a firm belief in an all-encompassing Christian education for your child? Then look no further. At Gospel Outreach Christian Academy, we make the educational experience of your child as rewarding as possible. Offering an excellent reading program that gets our reception children reading within 6